Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. It's 9:20 in the morning here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And let me set this again. I'm telling you, it's a weird mental block. I don't know what it is. But anyway, thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate all of you. I wanted to tell you all the comments I got yesterday on yesterday's video. I want to thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. I didn't get to answering any of them because my daughter Angela, she picked me and my dogs up yesterday, and I spent the day with her and her family, which was wonderful. We got Taco Bell for lunch. I was very happy to get Taco Bell. It was so good. And then for dinner, she made this delicious teriyaki chicken dish. It was so good, very good. So I enjoyed the day, just hanging out with them, and then and we went to Target and got some things there. We went to the grocery store. We went to get some groceries for her to make the dinner and stuff. So we just got out and did a few little errand type things, and then just hung around the house. And it was so nice to get out and be away from my house, away from my thoughts. I'm so grateful that she came and picked me up. And when somebody drives me, it is a luxury, guys. To me, it's a luxury. Total luxury. Because when you live alone, you have to do everything yourself. You have to drive everywhere by yourself all the time. And when somebody picks me up, it's like I feel like I'm in a limo and somebody is catering to me for the moment. I know that sounds silly, but I do. It just feels good to have somebody drive once in a while. But anyway, it was wonderful, and got to see my grandsons, all three of them, and my little one, Jack. He's just, oh my God, he's such a doll. He's so sweet and kind-hearted. He's just got this sweet nature about him. And my daughter had bought some candy, some Kit Kat. No. My daughter had bought some Kit Kats, and I got it from the kitchen counter. I said, "Oh no, these are Grandma's. These are all mine. I'm taking them home." And he's like, "No!" He was all upset. And I said, "Yeah, I'm taking them home." And then I put him down because he was like, "No, you can't take them." And I said, "So you don't want Grandma to have them?" And he goes, and then he goes and opens it and gives some to give to me. And he's, "Here, you can take these, Grandma." I mean, he was willing to share I mean, it was just so sweet the way he did it. He was willing to share part of them with his grandma, but still keep a few for himself, so it was cute. So it felt really good to get out of the house and spend the day there. It felt so good. But I still haven't heard from my sister, guys. I don't know what the deal is, but I haven't heard from her. My daughter did text her, and my sister just put a heart on it. She didn't text anything back. So I'm assuming she's just not up for talking or anything right now. I'm assuming she's not feeling very well. Because I left her a message on the phone, telling her to call me, and then her husband said she would call me if she was feeling up to it, but she hasn't called. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. So, just what can I do but wait and see? That's like I said in my video yesterday. I'm going to do everything in my power to keep myself calm and to just accept things as they are and as they're happening. There's nothing else I can do. I can't make myself sick with worry and stress. I just can't. And I'm still going to worry. I'm still going to have a little stress. I'm still going to have a little, but I don't want it to get to the point that it was where I was actually starting to feel sick, just not well. So it'll just be wait and see when I hear from her. But on today's subject, I wanted to talk about something that I think is very interesting because of some things I have read. and some things I have heard. And it's talking about my title of Are You Thinking of Ending Your Life Early? I'm not talking about just suicide where it's like, I'm done with life, I'm going to end my life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you find out that you have something that's going to leave you totally incapacitated and just totally disabled, where you can't take care of yourself at all, would you want to end your life, or would you want to continue and see what happens? That's a tough one, because I've thought about it, and I thought, I do not want to end up in a bed completely disabled, unable to do anything for myself. I don't want that. I can see why, like for instance, Robin Williams, he took his life because of the disease he ended up with. He knew he was going to end up just in a vegetative state, not all there. He knew that. And I don't blame the guy for saying, no, I'm ending my life. I don't blame him at all. Right now I know my doctor knows somebody who is in a she knows a woman who is completely bedridden from multiple sclerosis. Completely. She can't even step out of bed anymore. And her family, she's at home, and her family has gotten one of those machines to lift the person out of bed because they can't do it anymore. And my doctor and I were talking about it, and she was saying, what is the point at that point? What is the point of even being alive? You're not living, you're only existing. You're not actually living. And I think the biggest thing of it is, my personal view is, people are so scared to die because we don't know what comes after. We have no idea. And there is so much fear put into humans. And all you religious people, don't go getting upset with me. I'm being factual here. This is not a, my religion is right, my belief is right, no, this is right. This is not, no. I'm being factual here. You know, the majority of people have been taught that there's a heaven and a hell and a purgatory. And the thought of, you know, that's the one part I don't like about religion, is the fear that it puts into people of well, if I die, will I go to hell? Was I good enough? Did I do enough bad things to put me in hell? Was I good enough to go to heaven? I don't like any of that. I don't. That's just me. I'm not putting anybody down who does believe in that. That's just me. But I know that a lot of people, they have a fear. Their fear of death comes from what they've been taught through their religion or spiritual belief or whatever. They have this fear of, oh my God, what happens after we die? Well, nobody knows. I don't care what you've been taught through religion. Nobody has died and come back a month later and said, oh, by the way, or showed up in front of everybody for the news to see, you know, their ghost or spirit or whatever, to say, by the way, this is what it's like after you die. No, that hasn't happened. We don't know. It's the total unknown. And I think that's a lot of what keeps people, they're scared to die. They would rather suffer in misery till the end just to avoid that death, the actual death. I, for one, no, I do not want to end up in a situation where I'm just laying in bed and somebody has to completely take care of me, wash me, wipe my butt, you know, I mean, be in diapers all day and night. No, I can't. If I found out that I was going to have some kind of a disease, or that I have some kind of a disease that will leave me in that state as it progresses, I'm ending my life one way or the other. I will not end up like that. And what a burden to those that are taking care of you. You know, unless you're stuck in a nursing home where you're just rotting away in your nursing room, in your room in that nursing home. What? Oh my God. To me, that is just horrific. It's horrific, and I can't fathom that. Have you guys ever stopped and thought about what you do if you found out you have something that's going to leave you like that? Just existing, not living in any way, shape, or form, just laying in a bed? Or if you find out if you find out you have the beginning stages of dementia or Alzheimer's, Well, we know how that ends up. That's a horrific way to live. A horrific way to live. That is one of those things where sometimes I'll sit and think, we fight so hard to live. Who knows, after this, maybe it is some kind of a wonderful existence. Our soul or spirit or whatever leaves our body and goes to this fabulous existence. I'm not going to just say heaven, because I don't know what's up there. Maybe there's some kind of a spiritual existence that we know of, that we actually are aware of, like, oh, I died, but here I am. This is wonderful. I'm free of pain and suffering and anger and hurt and all that stuff that we suffer as humans. It's gone. You just feel this elated, wonderful feeling. Who knows? Maybe that's what it is. But then there are people who believe that when we die, that's it. You're out. It's black. You're out. Like when you go to sleep, it's gone. It's done. There's nothing. There's all kinds of beliefs, and then of course there are those that have the reincarnation belief and all of that. But I mean, have you ever stopped to think, what would I do if they told me I have some? What would you do if they told you you have something that's going to leave you to the point that you're literally just laying there staring ahead, or you're in such a state of Alzheimer or dementia that you don't even know what's going on anymore? I can't even imagine the frustration, because my mother got dementia after having strokes, and it used to break my heart to see how she never knew what was going on. And I could see the frustration in her, because I moved in with my son, Nathan. We moved in to take care of her. And the frustration, I could see it in her of, she'd say something, and I'd be like, no, Mom, or whatever, about whatever she was speaking about. Like, she'd come out of the room, out of the bedroom, "Where's Gilbert?" which was my dad's name. "Where's Gilbert?" She had no idea that he was dead. And I remember the first time I had to tell her he was gone, I cried. And I looked at her and I was like, "Mom, Dad is gone." And she'd be, "Well, where is he?" And I said, "He died." And then she'd look down and she'd cry for a minute, and then she'd go, "Oh yeah, I forgot. And it broke my heart. She would always ask where he was. She didn't recognize me or my son a lot of the time. She had no clue who we were. And I thought, this is a horrible way to live. Just watching the frustration in her, seeing her, you could just see her, the look on her face of, like, this makes no sense. What is going on? I can't, guys, I can't picture that. And I just wanted to talk about it because my doctor and I were talking about, she has to deal with all these kind of people that have something that's going to leave them in a horrific state as it progresses. And she's like, "Not me." She goes, "If I find that out, that's it. I'm done." And she has the ability to just, because she's a doctor. And she's like, there is just absolutely no point. No, don't start. There's absolutely no point in existing that way. And yeah, I wonder how many people across the world or in this country, the good old USA, who stop and think, what would I do? Especially if they've experienced somebody that they know going through something, some kind of illness or disease or mental thing that leaves them totally incapacitated. Do they stop and think, oh no, I don't want to go through this? Does it make them change their view, what have you? It really does make me wonder, because I personally, no thank you. I already know how hard life is as it is, and especially like living alone. Yeah, living alone is hell. I'm sorry. For me, it's just no fun. I don't enjoy it. I would rather have a wonderful man in my life to share my life with. I would much rather have that than being alone. But I can't even imagine living alone and finding out you're going to have something like that. Then it's like, now what? To me, that's just the worst. Life has given humans so much misery to deal with as they get older. And like right now, I know somebody who, you know, she's struggling just to survive. I've mentioned this in the last video, just to survive each day. And I'm going to be helping her now. Once a week she's going to be going to physical therapy, so I'm going to be taking her, and I have to help her walk out to her car. She can't even walk, which I feel so bad for her. So I'm going to take her to therapy, then come home because I live close to where she has a therapy. Then I'm going to go pick her up and take her back home and get her back into her apartment because she doesn't want to leave her apartment. And that breaks my heart that anybody has to go through that anybody's living that way, because they can't find out what's causing her problem, to where she can't walk and has a very difficult time. And I'm thinking, man, we are hit with so much stuff as we get older. This is so unfair. So unfair. That we struggle all our younger years just, you know, working or raising a family or both, or struggling in one way or another just to survive life. You know, as we're younger, we're struggling to survive life to get to being older. And then when you're older, you're hit with all these health issues. And it's like, so not fair. So not fair. It should be that our golden years are like, oh, all that is past me. All those decades are past me. Now it's time to feel good and live it up, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And I was watching today, that they buried Ozzy Osbourne right near his estate, which, ooh, I can't even imagine having a dead relative outside of my house. But they did. I guess that's what he wanted. And I thought about that, and I thought, oh my God, what's Sharon going to go through now as she gets older without him? Yes, she has the money to have all kinds of care, but you know what I mean, the emotional part of getting older without a man she's been with for decades. And I think about how many other people are going through that. And yeah, it's a thought that was on my mind, guys, not to sound morbid and whatever, but it's a reality of what will some of you do if you know you're going to end up in your golden years, your later you know, like your 80s or 90s, just like this, you know, just laying there staring forward and can't do anything else. I don't see the point. And I'm trying to tell myself that after this life, it's a better thing. I'm trying to tell myself it's got to be better. It's got to be better than this. I don't know. But who knows? Who knows what really happens after we go. So I just wanted to discuss with you what was on my mind today, some chit chat. And I'm even thinking of making another video right after this for you to listen to if you're in the mood to listen to somebody, or if you don't mind listening to me, of something that happened last night. I think I will. I think I'll make another video, and it'll post a couple or later in the day, because it takes 2 hours for this little video I'm making you right now. Is going to take 2 hours to upload. So, but I think I'll just go ahead and make another one and post it later. And if you want to listen, listen in.